3, 2, 1.
Okay, Frank should do.
All right, I'm gonna call the meeting to order,
And
and we will have Mayor Dunn lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, congratulations, we made it through the winter, and, now budget season, the fun part starts, so here we go. So, we're gonna start with public comment.
Nope, roll call.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Rick.
Uh,
My first mistake of the spring.
that's the first of the year, I'm sure. Okay, so starting with the city of Ansonia, Mayor Tishka had a funeral today. I believe we're joined by, his chief of staff, Nancy Spagnola.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Nancy, thank you.
Hi.
Town of Beacon Falls, I don't see First Selectman Smith, Town of Bethlehem, First Selectman Buckus.
Here.
Thank you. From the city of Bristol, we have, Ray Rogozinski today.
Here.
Thanks, Ray. From the town of Cheshire, the assistant town manager, Andrew Martello.
Here.
You, online, I believe we have the mayor of Derby, Joe DiMartino.
Here.
Sure. From the town of Middlebury, First Selectman Mark.
Here.
From the borough of Naugatuck, Mayor Hess.
Here.
From the town of Oxford, First Selectman Temple.
Here.
From the town of Plymouth, Mayor Sikorsky.
Here.
From the, town of Prospect, Mayor Chatfield.
Here.
From the town of Seymour, First Selectman Devon is online. Yeah, we are expecting right now. From the city of Shelton, Mayor Loretti.
Here.
First Selectman O'Neill. Not with us yet. We're expecting him online as well. From the town of Thomaston, First Selectman Solal.
Here online.
Thank you, sir. City of Waterbury, Mayor Furnaruski.
Here.
From the town of Watertown, Town Manager Mark Ramo.
Here.
From the town of Wolcott, Mayor Dunn.
Here.
And from the town of Woodbury, First Selectman Zolfo.
Here.
Thank you, sir. So we have, as noted, we have no MPO meeting today. It's just a COG meeting, and you have a forum present.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we will take public comment. Is there anyone in the room that would like to make a public comment or on Zoom?
So, Mr. Chairman, we have a request from, the gentleman who's here in the room to address us today.
Okay,
So, Mr. Sir, if you can go to the podium.
He raised his hand, I didn't know if he was.
Before you get started, I just want to ask a question. This is the Naugatuck Valley Council of Governments, the board members are the 19 town members. So when you publicly refer to us as the Naugatuck Valley Council of Gangsters, are you referring to them or to the staff?
I said government.
Okay, I'm just checking. Thank you. Good to see you.
So basically, we, Richard Sir, talked about Blaze Shaw, Connecticut, and just the comment is I just want to make for a public record that I filed, FOIA complaints with the Freedom of Information Commission. We're waiting for hearings on it to receive information on financial, payments and stuff that came through Naugatuck Valley Council of Governments. I haven't received anything yet, but I just wanted to get it on the public record that, you know, information basically on transportation funding and stuff. So that's all. Just thank you for your time. And also, I saw there was a thing for ethics commission, I believe. Is that now? Is there? I want to see if I can find out. I know not now, you don't answer questions, but if I get information on how you file on that, complaints on that, or on ethics complaints. That's basically it, Carl. So anytime after that, if somebody can give me this information after the meeting, I appreciate it. Other than that, thank you for your time.
all right, thank you. Is there any other public comment? Any questions will be addressed during the director's report. Mayor Chatfield, I will call on you at that time.
Okay,
Now, if you want to make a public comment,
I'm just gonna make an announcement. I might have did this last meeting, but it's very important to me in the town of Prospect of Beacon Falls. on April 7th at the regular town council meeting, I'm hosting an awards ceremony to thank the towns that helped our kids in the bus accident, I think back from Nanawa, the accident happened in Southbury. And I went to Southbury to the fire department, so they did a, recap of this accident. And prior to being elected mayor, I ran a school bus operation in town of Prosper for about 12 years. And our kids were never involved in an accident this bad before. There was plenty of bus accidents where cars from under buses or hit the buses or trying to stop from running the red light. However, the accident happened in Southbury. They're getting ready to go up Ben Sherman Hill coming from Nanawa to Woodbury. And the two young ladies in the back of the bus were ejected out the back of the bus windows. And one was very seriously hurt. She spent a week or so at Connecticut Children's. So we have all the ambulance service. When the Southbury Assistant Fire Chief got to the scene, he called the two hospitals and told them they had a major accident. And so what they do is they secure 3 or 4 rooms in both hospitals, call in off-duty emergency room personnel to treat those kids that came in from that bus accident. So I'm giving them medals to wear in their uniforms to the Southbury Police, the Southbury Fire, and Southbury Ambulance. Naugatuck Ambulance was called in, and I don't know the exact name, but there's a Jewish ambulance service up off Willow Street in that area. They have college up there. They took over the UConn campus. They came, and there were other ambulances. My 2 state reps, the state senator, are going to be there and hand out kinetic pins and some state of Connecticut certificates. And just to all of you, if you're wondering, some other town will be taking care of your kids if they're involved in a bus accident in somebody else's town. I'm very grateful, as well as the people of Beacon Falls, to these people that helped our kids when we weren't there. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment in the room or on Zoom? Anyone else?
Now, I just want to know, so I'm not sure, I missed any guests that we might have today, and we have fewer because it's not an NPO meeting, but Genevieve Peruccio from Senator Murphy's office is going to speak during the director's report today under legislative. She just wants to talk for a couple of minutes about the congressionally directed spending applications. I don't think she's with us yet. Genevieve's not in the room, right? So if she's here at that time, we'll take that up.
Do you have the magic formula?
I guess she has the magic formula for how to apply and be successful, sure.
Okay.
With that, I'll note that Meg Hafner from the Kennedy Collective is with us online, and Jerry Lukowski from Watertown is with us in the room. And with that, you may proceed.
Okay, let's go to administrative items, minutes for approval for Selectman Temple.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Second from Prospect. Any questions or discussion on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Financial report, Michael.
Thank you. So this is the financial report that went out in your packets last week for the period ending January 31st. It is 7 months or 58% through the budget. We are about 52% budget to actual. Our net position is $133,000. Cash balance is about 3.7 million. And our expense budget to actual is about 47%. We haven't had any expected funding cuts. We're still waiting on a couple contracts, and other grant applications are pending. Mainly the grant contracts the service contracts would impact this current budget. We are waiting on the NOAA FY federal fiscal year 25 funds to be released, about 10.7 million. We're wrapping up a request for that now. And then outside of that, our expenses for the office transition, we haven't incurred any yet. But I think this current month and through May is when the bulk of them will be coming.
So other than NOAA, there's nothing unusual,
No, sir.
I mean, correct,
Correct.
flashy or negative. Any questions for Michael? All right, you wanna tell us about the audit report?
I think you have to approve the financial.
Okay, let's have a motion to approve from Prospect, second from
Second.
Middlebury, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor,
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries, audit report.
Thank you. So we just came out of audit committee, right before this meeting, where the audit committee did, approve to receive the audit report for, fiscal year 2025. All right, so to start off, we did, the auditors expressed, that all the financial position and statements were presented fairly and in all material respects. There were no material weaknesses in internal controls. We're a low risk auditee. Our unrestricted fund balance ended the year at $1,031,000, which is about 20% of our fiscal year 26 budget. So we did end at a deficit of about $17,000. When you originally passed the budget, it was about $9.5 million budget. That was flat, zero surplus, zero deficit. When I did my year-end projections, I was projecting about an $8,000 surplus, so $17,000. That mainly stems from an adjustment in our indirect rate. Every year when we create the budget, we determine an indirect rate. That year was 18.6%. And then at the end of the year, we see what the actual was. The difference is then, through our UPWP program, we have to either return the difference if the rate comes in lower than what we billed, or we'll receive money if it comes in higher. So in this case, it came in higher for our 2024. It came in lower, I'm sorry. Indirect rate came in lower for our 2024 budget, and as a result, the funds had to be incurred in 2025, resulting in the deficit. So it's actually from the previous fiscal year, which had a $79,000 surplus. In this current fiscal year, we will actually be receiving about $16,000 from the 2025 audit, because our indirect rate was higher than our actual was higher than what we billed. So it just about washes out. So had it not been for when you have to recognize or incur the expense, we would have been at a surplus of about $14,000 for fiscal year 25. And then our net position, so our government activities increased about $169,000. That is mainly from the we had a write off our current rent, our current leasehold, since we don't have an active lease agreement. So that will be impacted in the following fiscal year audit. I mean, outside of that, for our federal and state single audits, they released an unmodified opinion. There were no material weaknesses or deficiencies, no corrective actions, and no reportable instances of non-compliance. So all in all, it was a successful audit.
All right, questions for Michael?
For the rest of the board members who are not on the audit committee, so they just received it this morning at the earlier meeting this morning, so it'll be distributed to the rest of you following today's meeting. It'll be published on our website as well.
And also, we want the minutes to clearly note that the audit report has been received. And no further action. All right, any last chance for questions of Michael or the audit committee?
I'll just note one other thing, Mr. Chairman. So the audit committee also took action to award the audit services for the next 3-year contract at the earlier meeting today. We only got one proposal, and it's from the current auditor. But, reluctantly, we went forward rather than going back out and republishing the process. It's a typical, situation these days with governmental entities who need to be audited. So it's a 3-year deal with 2 1-year options at our option. Cost was nominally increased, was it 10% in the first year? 27,000 to 30,000.
Just under, yeah.
Right. And it's King and King Associates, and they audit other COGs as well. So the audit committee has power to award. They made that award earlier. I just wanted to note it for the record, not for the rest, for everyone's information.
All right, thank you, Rick. So at this time, we will go directly to your report.
Director's report. Thank you, sir. So I don't believe Genevieve's here or online. I'll just note, we're joined by Matt from DOT. Thank you, Matt. Good to see you.
What does Matt do at DOT?
I'm I'm part of the MPO coordination unit.
Okay,
Or the intergovernmental affairs unit, kind of in between municipalities, as NVCOGCT, as well as US DOT.
all right, thank you.
So, Matt's our primary contact with the agency, though, as institutional contacts between the two groups. Okay, so, legislative update, I'll move on, if Senator Murphy's office shows up, we can take that up later. I have a couple of bills that I want to talk about, in the state legislature, but first I'm gonna turn to Rich, to talk about the Basics Act, which is a federal transportation reauthorization that we're supporting, and almost all of the local officials nationally, national organizations are supporting. I think Conference of Mayors endorsed it, National League of Cities endorsed it, National Association of Counties, and AMPO. So,
And regional councils.
and yes, our organization, National Association. Rich?
Yeah, so the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act was the transportation authorization for the 5-year period that now ends in late autumn of this year. And so Congress has started work on the next authorization bill. There's a number of ideas and proposals floating around. The Congress seems interested in simplifying pretty significantly the next authorization over what was passed through IJA. So we just want to highlight the Basics Act. Like Rick said, this is the proposal that was brought forward by what's known as the LOT Coalition, Local Officials for Transportation, which includes both of our membership organizations, the Association of Metropolitan Planning Organizations and the National Association of Regional Councils, plus a number of others. The Basics Act is a proposal we really like. It includes a number of items that we think are beneficial to us and to all of you. And so, fundamentally, it reduces the number of discretionary programs or competitive programs. It moves a lot of that funding into formula. It increases a couple of categories for us. And so one of the important ones is PL dollars or federal planning dollars. It raises the percentage of the surface transportation program that goes to planning, and it eliminates the non-federal share for those dollars. And so that would allow us to do significantly more planning work before the projects begin, to help, maintain schedules and reduce the total burden of implementing those projects. The other thing it does is it reduces a lot of the restrictions on PL dollars. And so we'd be allowed to do more pre-engineering work and some engineering work that we are currently not allowed to do with federal money. So that is, for us, certainly the biggest piece. The other element to it is it looks to increase the amount of federal aid that goes directly to towns and cities. One of the stats that is reported often with this bill is that it's about 50% of roads are owned by municipalities or local governments around the country. And it's somewhere around 14% of transportation dollars are directed to those entities. And so this bill looks to improve that ratio just a little bit and make more direct funding available for all of you for the maintenance and improvement of the infrastructure that you own. So there's a number of resources out there. I'm happy to share more. Obviously the Basics Act will not pass in the form it is in, but we hope that elements of it will get carried into the next authorization. Congress has said they would like to have a new authorization passed prior to November. I think there's a low likelihood that they're able to come to agreement on something and pass it in that timeline. But that is the current stance, and so we'll be keeping a close eye on this and keeping you all updated as we hear more.
And I just wanted to know about the Basics Act. So as I said, local officials have endorsed it. As we go through this, every reauthorization, this will be a bill that the state DOT will probably oppose, as we believe all state DOTs oppose. And it just has to do with the fundamental argument about who gets to program how much of the dollars. So it's a tension we always have. But, you know, no harm, no foul, no fight with our state DOT. We're on board for 99% of the same things.
Rich, you were suggesting the federal government wants to give us more money?
That's well, so that is the proposal under the Basics Act. Whether Congress moves those elements forward or not, I think is still a big question. But the local transportation officials organizations have all agreed that that is a proposal that makes sense.
What a surprise.
Yeah.
If there are no questions about this one, we can move on.
Are you asking me? or
I'm
something?
asking you, I'm just trying to keep things moving. I promised a
Yes,
short meeting this month.
yes, we can move.
Wow.
Yes, we can move.
All in favor?
So there are a few bills in the state legislature we want to touch today. We're not gonna hit on the ones you usually hear from CCM or Cost about. So we'll skip through those. There is one in particular that Rich and I will both speak to. So a number of our legislators have asked for additional service capacity on bus lines, on train service around the state. And in most cases, they've been asked in turn to support a bill that would establish expanded service on the Shoreline East. But why do we care about Shoreline East? We have some serious concerns, even if there's additional money for operations, that it would diminish service, or at a minimum, delay increases in service that we've been promised on the Waterbury branch line or the Danbury line. The only way DOT can take care of increased service on Shoreline East is to either, the commissioner had proposed earlier in the session that if he had to do it, he would move diesels over to that line, because otherwise they would have to pay. Right now, they're scheduled to pay $8 million in fees to Amtrak for the catenary service east of New Haven. So the commissioner had proposed, in order to meet the budgetary restraint that the governor had proposed, he would have to switch those to diesel. The only place diesel engines can come from are Waterbury or Danbury, because we don't believe they would take anything off the Hartford line. Historically, they have not reduced the Hartford line service at all.
So Rick, how does the ridership compare to Shoreline East and the rest of us?
Rich?
Yeah, so Shoreline East is the slowest recovering of the lines after COVID. It is also the only line who has seen still significant service reductions since COVID.
And we're
So-
pointing out who's the best.
Well, who's the best, I guess, is
Waterbury.
I can come up with a lot of ways to describe Waterbury as the best.
So
The
we have
fastest
the best,
recovering.
don't we have the best record for returning?
We do,
from
yes.
COVID?
We
All
were
right.
the first line to not only hit our pre-COVID numbers, but to grow over pre-COVID ridership levels, and continue to have really strong ridership compared to 2019.
So that's always been the trend, has it not, with Shoreline East and the argument about whether to fund them and upgrade them and expand them because the ridership was the lowest in the
They
state?
were caught. They had higher service 10 years ago.
Yeah, they've been seeing steady declines over a while, and COVID was a significant reduction.
But now they want increases in service. And we don't see any way it comes without there being a cost to Waterbury branch line or Danbury branch line. Even if the General Assembly gives them the operating dollars, the equipment's not there to do it. So we just wanted you all to be aware of this, because legislators aren't necessarily aware of what the trade-off would be in reality once the agency gets it and has to deal with a command to increase service on another line. So just wanted to bring it to your attention. It is something we're trying to pay attention to. We're doing education with legislators through the session to let them know about our concerns here. we have, another bill, SB 9. Rich, you want to just speak to this one?
Yeah, there's a number of elements in SB 9, but the one that we're really paying attention to is it would authorize one additional year, the funding for one additional year of the microtransit pilot program that has been running now for 2 years. And for us, that's relevant because the Valley Transit District has been running the VTD to go service since April of 2024. That service is we're hoping we can continue one more year without additional state support either way, but we think it's been very successful. It is, it's generating decent ridership, and it's certainly expanded opportunities across the lower valley. And so, we are big fans of the microtransit program. We want to see it not only maintained for one additional year, but made permanent, as well as expanding opportunities into some of our other communities that are currently underserved by fixed route buses.
So I think that service has exceeded expectations originally contemplated.
Yeah, it's been, we think it's been very successful. We've seen a much broader range of riders too than we had originally anticipated. And so, I think one of our biggest surprises is how many high school students have been using it, especially in Shelton.
Well, it
and how much
demonstrates a
opportunity
need.
It opens, exactly.
Demonstrates a need in the valley, for sure.
100%.
So we want to make you aware of that bill. 5917 is the highway speed camera bill.
Sorry, it's actually 5464.
Oh. Thank you. So 5464 is the highway speed camera. We bring this here to your attention, because one of the things we're not certain about is how the dollars, the revenue that would come in from the penalties would be allocated. Typically, if there's a highway speeding ticket, it does not end up back in the special transportation fund. It goes through judicial branch and ends up in the state's general fund for general expenditures. So one of the things we want to focus on, the bill does say that it's authorizing the DOT to enact this program. We're hopeful that the funds like the local highway camera program would be segregated so that that money has to come back into the transportation system for safety improvements. So that's one of the things we're monitoring. We just wanted to let you know because we think it impacts what we do as an MPO.
So why would they do that?
Well, it seems that the bill is proposing it. It's unclear at this point how it would be interpreted. DOT has to work with whatever Department of Public Safety is called now.
Is it written into the bill?
Well, it authorizes DOT to run the program, so with Department of Public Safety.
With that comes a whole host of regulations.
Yeah, well, to be written.
That's also tenuous.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens, but we wanted to bring it to your attention because we do think based on the criteria, at least Rich informs me, based on the criteria that'll be there, routes 8 and 84 would be prime targets for meeting the criteria of fatalities, speed incidents and other accidents and incidents, so.
Are there any exemptions for
No.
person?
No, don't even say it.
Trying to be careful.
Yeah, don't even say that. No is the answer to that. Okay, additionally, and Drew may have different numbers because I got some after we had our run through the other day. Senate Bill 449, we want to bring to your attention. This is the one that affects LoCIP and STEEP grants. And if you have balances or open grants, you're not going to be allowed to apply for new funds under this change until you've exhausted your balances. And so some of you have been around for a while. Remember when towns would be carrying a decade's worth of LoCIP money unexpended and would still get more.
But that means exhausted, but you don't have to wait for them to finish the audit. Takes them years.
That I don't know.
LoCIP, they're gonna.
No, LoCIP, not LoCIP.
Oh.
LoCIP.
LoCIP,
LoCIP and
they're gonna hold, they're not gonna give you the money if you have money in LoCIP.
That's what's in 449. You can't get new money if you have unexpended balance. That's why we're bringing it to your attention.
You gotta wait for their approval when you send them in, so.
Well, they don't understand how the system works.
No.
Obviously.
No, that's ridiculous. That's the whole idea, is to get a little money so you can pay for it.
Drew, am I misstating this at all?
I think that the one thing that might be, in gray area is if you have a project already approved in the pipeline,
Right.
that may be okay. You can check the box that, hey, we're working on this. Versus if you just have funds sitting there and you don't have them allocated for anything, then they're not gonna allow you to apply for anything. Similar to community
Who put
connectivity.
that, who proposed that bill?
I think the committee,
pretty sure, but I.
Committee, not anybody that runs LoSiP. Right, because not anybody that runs LoSiP didn't promote that, right?
You would.
Because that's a lot of work for them to figure out who they've got what project.
Sure, and that may change still. I mean, that's the thing. We didn't really, I didn't want to raise a lot of things for you.
That's
at this
crazy.
point
That's
because
the whole
things may
idea.
change. But we just wanted to flag that as one we may want to be again. But that's
Worse.
Yeah.
It's, I think what is behind this has always been a conversation since I worked in the General Assembly in the nineties. It's a big balance on OPM's balance sheet of unexpended funds. It looks like a fat target and it looks like it's not getting spent. So every year there's a discussion about, why are we putting more money into this? The towns aren't spending it, and then it has to get explained as CCM
Yeah,
and
but
possible.
it makes sense for them that when they give us the money, it's zero for them. How could there be,
Right, but they're
I know
taxing.
we have to go through that.
They're increasing taxes to put the new allocations in place, and they're saying, why are we doing that if?
But we have the money and we gotta work
Yeah,
on
I
it.
understand,
These projects take time.
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
Because they.
We gotta go
create-
through the
they
bidding, we
create
gotta
the
go
time
through
delays.
all the other stuff for them.
The state departments create the time delays.
Right,
Well,
that's
exactly.
what I mean, so they're causing their own problem there, I think.
There are a significant number of
Hopefully it
towns who,
doesn't pass.
who just don't have the infrastructure capacity and have let their balances just sit there with no planning or action. So it does happen. But we just wanted to make you aware that this is one that caught our eye. Everything, all the raised bills that got JF'd and came out of committee, all the JFS bills really hit over the last week. And so we've been trying to scan ones that we think are important to you. HB 5289 is the perpetual, every year bill to allow for electronic legal notices. And, so towns don't have to publish in newspapers. Looks like it might have a chance this year, whereas in the past, it's always been dead. And then we're watching, the housing bill, 5326, which is the majority leaders roundtable for implementing things around the housing bill. There's some stuff there. There's another bill that I think Cost had issued yesterday, highlight on some changes to the ADUs, what are accessory dwelling units, couldn't think of what they were. So some changes to ADUs. There is one thing in the bill that is, I can't imagine it's going to go far, but it says, hands down, in your community, if you have sewer and water in a particular area, you're not allowed to create a lot size above 5,000 square feet. Can't imagine that's gonna go anywhere, but the committee passed.
Above
Above.
For single family homes.
Single family.
And townhouses.
Thank you, Lana.
Kidding
So
me?
not for
Is
multi.
that new?
Yeah, it just came out of committee this week. So,
Where do they come up with this stuff?
well, it's an element in a larger bill. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere with that provision because. But, I would talk to CCM and Cost, if you're concerned about that bill.
They wanna take over zoning.
That's 5320, oh, no, I take it back, it's not 5326. Well, Drew, do you have that?
For the.
The housing bill, the Senate bill,
Yeah, Lana, we discussed that. I'll pull it up in a second.
okay. It's in our communications yesterday, but it's not in my notes. We were just talking about it last night.
151.
Is it
Senate?
Senate?
Yeah, SB 150.
Okay.
What's about creating new lots?
Yeah, you can't zone for lots larger than 5,000 square feet if you have public sewer
But
and
that's
water.
going forward, you already have what
Going
you
forward.
have, right?
I believe so. I believe it's going forward.
And so just to be clear, that's not with the ADU legislation, that's a separate.
Separate bill. And then there was a third one that had to do with, more for us, I think, than for the towns, had to do with, changes to the zoning and some small changes. So anyway, we're tracking those, but particularly on 151, you guys want to talk to, CCM and Cost on that as well. So, and it's probably a good time before I take, the last item on director's report, I just want to reintroduce to all of you, Lana Harrison. Lana, say hi. Lana has stepped up and is, the acting community, planning director. for us, and is working closely with me and the team to hire new senior planning staff, fill those vacancies and get things rolling. She's doing a great job. I just want to make sure you all know who she was. And then we'll go on to, with your permission, Mr. Chairman, of the Director's Report, item 2. So this, we talked about last month, we took the action under the technical corrections provision of the bylaws. This is the one where we had omitted, you had adopted makeup for the Ethics Commission of this body. And it was taken up in the guidance in our manual, agency manual, but we neglected to include it when you had simultaneously adopted the bylaws. We neglected to include this position in the election of officers. So we took it up as a technical correction. The bylaws say that staff can make the correction, which we have made. We've presented it to you, and we have to report to you at the next regular meeting. So we're reporting to you now that we've made this change. Happy to answer any questions about it, but I think we discussed it.
No action report.
No, we discussed it last month, and you've already elected someone last month to fill this role. So.
How's he doing so far?
Doing great. I'll let you know when there's a meeting. And then, if there are any questions about the item that came up in public portion, I'd be happy to answer. I'll just brief you all, quickly. So,
Go ahead.
well, you're not,
Well, if there's a question.
sure. I just wanted to just address, the FOI complaint. So there's been
Hold on, is there a pending complaint?
a complaint that's what I'm letting you know.
Okay.
The complaint has been filed. The commission has taken no action on it. Attorney Sam Maruja, from our law firm, Palmer Conley, will represent us if there's a hearing on it. We think it's without merit. And we don't, I'm hopeful there's not even a hearing scheduled. Is there any other questions? I'm happy to answer them. Okay. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'm done.
Do we have, does someone want to speak?
I almost forgot that Genevieve is here. So Genevieve Peruccio from Senator Murphy's office. This would be a good time. You can just address the board.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Genevieve Fruccio. I'm an outreach assistant at Senator Murphy's office, and I cover the 5th Congressional District. So here in Waterbury, but as far north as Litchfield County. So I'm here today just to briefly announce that our congressionally directed spending process is open. It is through the Senators Murphy and Blumenthal. The deadline to apply is April 6th. Our office is happy and able to meet with folks from cities, towns, nonprofits who are wanting to apply. The only thing I will note is that this year there are spending caps. So senators are only allowed to submit a certain number of projects. So should anybody submit more than one project, you will have to rank on your application which project comes in priority. Again, the deadline to apply is April 6th, and that is for, I believe, both programmatic requests and congressionally directed spending. So if anybody has any questions, I will be here with my cards, but also Patricia has my email and our other contact information for everything appropriations and congressionally directed spending. Thank you.
All right, any questions? Proceed.
Sure, the representing Bristol, Mary Ellen Zappo, she has a staff meeting on this, every member of staff. Public Works Director will be putting forth a project. Obviously, there's always a series of hurdles. The goal is to get through all the hurdles.
Right.
What language do we use? Like, to me, in the past, legitimately so, we would talk for our project about, energy, solar, environmental. I guess we're concerned with some of those words that helped us in the past, not helping us now. So what words would we, or can you point us to something that does have guidance?
Yes. So we also as well actually have a FY27 application guidance document. I will note that just recently this week, at some point, we actually got the proper guidance from the appropriations committee. So our guide now may be updated at some point, but that has been going out to our towns and nonprofits, various mailing lists that we have. And once we know if we have a new and updated guide, we'll be sure to send that out as soon as possible. And again, I'll be happy to share that with Patricia here at NVCOG.
Thanks.
All right, anything else in your report, Rick?
No, I am finished, Mr. Chairman.
All right, let's turn it over to Richard Donovan, Transportation Planning.
Thank you. Yeah, we have a few items today, just for your information. We have nothing with direct action, and so if you're all right with it, I will turn it over to Joanna to start with the MTP.
Proceed.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everybody. My name is Joanna Rogalski, and I work as a senior transportation planner here at NVCOG. This morning, I'm going to take about 5 minutes to talk to you about the work that we're doing to update the Metropolitan Transportation Plan for the 2 MPOs that comprise our region, and that's the Central North Valley MPO and the the Greater Bridgeport. I always think of it as the Lower Valley. The Greater Bridgeport and Valley MPO. No action, as Rich mentioned, no action is required. So first off, what is a Metropolitan Transportation Plan? Well, it's a long-range transportation planning document, and it's looking about 20 years into the future. And for this update, we're going to be covering the years 2027 and 2055. Now, one of the other things that the Metropolitan Transportation Plan does is it links very closely with our regional plan of conservation development, which is currently under development with the community planning division. So what's the link? Well, they both address long-term goals related to infrastructure and improving mobility for our residents. So one of the other things that both plans do is it builds upon our agency's goal to improve transportation options and mobility for all of our residents using transportation systems that are safe and reliable and that are considering all modes of transportation. That includes private vehicle, public transit, pedestrians, bicycles, and even freight. Okay, so how are we going to be addressing these topics? Well, what we're going to do is first consider what is deficient in our transportation systems. We're going to be recommending improvements, and we're going to be advancing priority projects with costs that are going to be commensurate with what we reasonably expect funding to be available for those years between 2027 and 2055. And the other good thing about all this work is that it is based on national performance measures, which include safety, reliability, congestion reduction, air quality conformity, and reducing project delays. So what's our timeline for all of this? So actually we divided and conquered into 3 phases. The first of which is underway right now, which is the data collection. This summer, we're going to start drafting the actual document. And we're going to expect that it's ready for public comment by November of 2026. After that public comment period, we will be presenting it to the NPO board for adoption, for consideration for adoption in February of 2027. Okay, and I'm just going to take another couple minutes to tell you what we're doing with our data collection. Basically what we're doing, transportation related projects, we're identifying them. We're looking at projects, we're reviewing our previous Metropolitan Transportation Plan, the state transportation improvement program, also our MPO transportation improvement programs. And also we're going to be looking at forthcoming plans like the Regional Safety Action Plan. And again, we're looking for projects to include in this plan. But the most important part of what we're doing right now is we need the feedback from our member communities about what are their priority projects. So in the next few weeks, we're going to be sharing our preliminary lists, project lists with the public works and engineering departments, and reviewing them together with those departments to ensure that your priorities. And again, this project list needs to be completed by May of 2026. And that's all I've got for today with the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. Thank you for your attention. And we look forward to working with you in the future.
Thanks, Joanna. Any questions about the MTP? The chairman had to step out, ask you to go on to the 5310 plan update.
I think there was a question.
We're gonna.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
what, are they gonna use this plan or are we gonna, or is it just out there?
Rich, you can.
Yeah, so we always try and use these plans, and most of the projects that actually can get federally funded are required to be in these documents. One of the things we are working toward, though, is better and more closely tying the regional priorities that we come up with through our other planning processes and the work that all of you are doing in your towns to be more closely tied to the reasonably expected federal funding and the way that CONDOT does project selection, so that what we're coming up with is an actual listing that we think is realistically going to happen in that 20-year period.
Okay, that's.
So we're certainly trying.
It realistically sounds good.
That's what we're hoping for.
No, but
The way it's supposed to work.
The MTP, which used to be called the LRTP, for those of you who've been around for a while, it's a Bible for our program, regardless of how close it was monitored in the past. It guides everything we do in our federal program.
Yeah, and so starting in federal fiscal 28, you'll start seeing when we bring TIP projects to you all and TIP amendments, what we will be adding a note to every one of those, whether or not it aligns with the MTP.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Go on to Joanna, number 2.
number 2, Joanna, 5310.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm going to dwell a little bit more about improving mobility for our residents. So I'm going to be giving you a brief reminder about the federal funding available to municipalities through the 5310 grant program. And again, no action is required. So what is this 5310 grant program? It's a federal program which offers funding for capital and operating expenses to improve transportation services for seniors and people with disabilities. Now, back in January, I sent a memo about this grant program to your town staff, the senior centers, and local regional nonprofit. What are these grants covering? Well, they would cover 80% of capital project costs or 50% of operating project costs. And what are some of these projects? Well, they could be buying accessible vehicles. That would require 20% non-federal match, wheelchair lifts, and also contracting for transportation services. So just as an update, these applications are due to the Connecticut DOT and the Naugatuck Valley Council of Governments by Tuesday, March 31st by 4 p.m. Now, what's going to happen is we would love to have all of our NVCOG applicants receive funding, but it is limited and it varies per urbanized area. So what the NVCOG is going to be doing is scoring these applications for completeness, and then we're going to be sending them along to the Connecticut DOT for prioritization. Now, in the meantime, if you or your staff need some help with these applications before March 31st, myself and other transportation team members are available to help you with those applications. And that's all I've got. Thank you, and I can answer.
Questions for Joanna? Okay, let's proceed. Active Transportation Micro Grant Program.
Good morning,
Hi.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I would like to discuss the Active Transportation Microgrant Program. No action is required at this meeting. The Active Transportation Microgrant Program is a conduct-funded program which seeks to provide funding to support active transportation, which is walking, bicycling, and road. The sum of $750,000 is available in this grant, and eligible municipalities, their departments, schools, school districts, health districts, and nonprofits can apply for these funds, subject to a maximum of $5,000 per applicant, who can receive a maximum of 2 applications, submit a maximum of 2 applications in a year. Applications are received every quarter through our office and sent to the Connecticut Department of Transportation. Applications for the first quarter of this year ended last week. I did reach out to a number of you. Thank you very much. Applications for the next quarter will be due on the 12th of June, 2026. Applications and guidelines have been sent to you in advance in your application packets. Historically, we have done well in this project. Last year, this Council of Government received half of $800,000 in the program. Of this funds, it was bolstered majorly by the towns of Waterbury and Bristol who applied for bicycles for each and every one of their schools. We're grateful for this. This last round that we got applications for last week was very impressive because we had 39 applications totaling $185,000, which is 1/4 of all the funds available in the program this year. And it was nice to see that there was a broad representation from all of the municipalities. We had application from 15 of the 19 municipalities, 6 of which had never applied before, which was very impressive. Thank you very much for your support. It was nice to also note that we had requests in this round for the purchase of bicycles to all the schools in Seymour and Naugatuck. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know we spoke about this earlier. So we have applications from Seymour and Naugatuck. As I said earlier, we are receiving applications for the next round, which is due on the 12th of June. I will request that you use your kind offices to get the information out to your departments, to your schools, to your school districts, to your health districts, and eligible nonprofits in your region so that we can continue to have a good show. Thank you very much. I am available to help you and your staff to fill out applications and to put them in order. With your kind permission, I will take questions, comments.
All right, questions for Tayo?
I may add one note, there is no match for this program. It's 100% state dollars.
There's no match for the program. The tile, I think, so now 18 of our communities have participated at one point or another.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And just to note, due to the success of Tayo's efforts last year, DOT has changed the rules for the program. Because we got too much of the state's entire allocation here. So they've tightened up the rules a little bit.
Good work.
Great work. Thanks, Tyler.
All right, let's go to lunch and learn recap. Kate.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And this is an update for your information. The NVCOG transportation team hosted a lunch and learn on the Connecticut Roadway Safety Management System, which was held virtually on March 11th. Thank you to anyone who sent staff to attend. The session introduced the CRFMS as a GIS-based, data-driven safety analysis platform to help state and local agencies identify, evaluate, and address roadway safety concerns using the latest highway safety manual method. So since this was virtual and it was recorded, you can watch the recording on the NVCOG YouTube channel along with any of our previous lunch and learns. And then secondly, I want to mention an upcoming training opportunity. It is for road safety audits, which will take place on March 28th in Watertown. So thank you, Watertown, for hosting. We will be organizing this with the U22 Center, and there's flyers on the table with more information. This is a free training. It will take place in person, and it's to the road safety audit center. So RSAs are a proactive multidisciplinary approach to identifying safety risks for all road users. It's also a Federal Highway Administration recognized proven safety countermeasure. And we are actually doing more of these in our region. So the training is to help you learn a bit more about what an RSA is. And you will actually take part in a field exercise along French Street in Watertown to simulate an RSA by observing conditions in the field and then developing safety observations and recommendations similar to those that happen in formal RSA. So the session is intended for a broad range of stakeholders, including municipal staff, public works officials, public safety, school representatives, and community members. So there are less than 20 spots left. So if you or someone from the staff would like to send, please don't hesitate to register. We appreciate your time and I thank you. Do you have any questions?
All right, questions for Kate? All right, thank you, Kate. Let's go to Drive Less Challenge, Nicole.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Board.
Briefly, this is informational, no action required. CT Rides is a commuter support program of CTGOT, and they're facilitating the Ride Less Challenge. It's beginning this Thursday, April 22nd. Any trips that don't involve driving alone counts towards the challenge, and progress can be tracked via downloading the CT Rides app for prizes. It can help support sustainable CT, Action 6, Transportation Demand Management Points. And the competition will run until the end of May. Last year's challenge saved approximately 26,000 gallons of gas and 548,000 vehicle miles traveled across the state. This year, NVCOG has the opportunity to be the pilot cog for regional approach. We are hoping to reduce vehicle miles traveled by 20,000 across the region with your help. Thank you, and I'll take any questions.
Questions for Nicole? Thank you, Nicole. Protect status update. Mark.
Morning.
See you.
Morning. Just want to give a quick update on our Protect project. As you may recall, we had submitted an application to USDOT a couple of years ago. To do a vulnerability and risk assessment of, and again, this is key, local infrastructure that may be vulnerable to flooding from high hazard events. The state DOT had received a Protect project to look at state assets. This is going to be looking at locally owned roads, bridges, culverts, and we want to identify, which ones are more vulnerable to severe flooding during an event, sort of like the one that happened last August. We're partnering with CROG, Northwest Hills, Northeast Council of Government. So this is going to be a fairly large project spanning the entire sort of the non-coastal area of Connecticut, so it's a fairly big project. We did go through a CE consultant selection process, and we finalized the scope with the firm, we completed fee negotiations, and we've executed an agreement. The firm is ICF Incorporated, they're out in New York City. They have a lot of experience conducting these types of projects nationwide. They actually participated in writing some of the guidance at USDOT for vulnerability assessment. We're starting the kickoff meeting is this coming Tuesday, and it's going to be about a 20-month project. We're starting in March and completing in about 20 months. Again, the important thing with this is we want to come up with a tool that each of the towns can use to identify local bridges, culverts, and bridges that may be vulnerable to a flooding incident. So you can use this tool in-house to identify priorities. We also want to come up with a priority list of projects that will become eligible for federal funding under that program. As Rich mentioned earlier, some of the discretionary programs may go to a formula. This is one of those that may end up, if this was a discretionary program that we got funding for, it could, make your facilities eligible for federal funding. So, yeah, with that, I can answer any questions.
Yes.
Just through the chair, talk about ultimately receiving funding for construction, but the
Correct.
project itself includes preliminary design and cost estimates, correct?
Yeah. It would be like any federal aid type of program that all eligible costs would be covered, design, rights of way if there was necessary, and then actual construction. And part of this project, we're not looking at just, infrastructure replacement or reconstruction, but it could be other sort of, I'm not, we call them the environmental type things, where you're purchasing some land to increase the storage capacity of floodwaters at the time.
You had asked for some time today.
And just for your also information, many know, I said I was gonna be retiring about 2-3 years ago. The time has actually sort of come. I'm gonna be stepping back on my full part-time status at the end of this month. So I just wanted to take a moment just to, just reflect and say, it's been a pleasure working with the municipalities all these years. I've been doing this now for 46 years, excuse me. And it's been quite a journey. We've had some good project success, and I've enjoyed working with our town and trying to do things that would better your communities. We've had some successes. Some projects haven't gone through the way we would like, or haven't gotten the funding for it, but we keep trying. And again, the goal has always been to, help the towns as much as possible. Going forward, this Protect project was sort of the last hurrah, as it were. We did apply for the grant a couple of years ago, and it's taken that much time to sort of get it up and running. But now that it is, I'm going to be stepping back quite a bit. I have told Rick that I would be available on an as-need basis or on-call basis. So it's hard to sit back after 46 years. And it's been enjoyable. I kind of enjoy the work that I've been doing, and I'm not going to go away entirely, but pretty much stepping back at the end of the career. So
I want to thank Mark. He's been a tremendous deputy director, not to mention MPO director when he did that work. I would have more comments to say, except this is the third time he's retired. But at the end of this month, he'll no longer be the deputy director of the agency. He'll be an on-call employee. I'm sure we'll see him. But thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Hope to be here.
That's been it's amazing how time goes by.
I hope to be here for your fourth retirement.
I know.
All right.
Lana.
Community planning, Lana.
Chairman, again, I'm Lana Harrison, Acting Director of the Community Planning Division. I know that I've met some of you at the CEO Welcome Roadshow that we did earlier this year, and some of you I've already had the privilege of working with. Just briefly, I want to give an update on the transition of the Community Planning Division, but before I do that, a little bit of my background. Planning is a second career for me. I was in communications and publishing before that, which I do feel like serves me really well in this role. Prior to NVCOG, I was at NVCOG, the Southeastern Connecticut Council of Governments. I also have my master's for urban planning. My undergrad was in international politics, and I've since done a hard pivot to local government, which I've decided I like a lot better. But in terms of the division, our three main goals right now are to keep the ball rolling on our existing projects, support our existing staff. Big shout out to Dimitri Coles, who is out sick today, but also to Emily Ritchie, who you'll hear from in a minute. But Emily really is a backbone of this division, and I'm sure a lot of you have interacted with her. So big shout out to her. So supporting existing staff and then hiring for our open positions. For maintaining our ongoing projects, what we've got going on. We are in the middle of the Regional Plan of Conservation and Development Planning process. Thank you so much to Andrew Martelli, the chairman of our steering committee, for his excellent leadership on that. A number of your staff have been invited to the focus groups that we've been holding, although the last two have been delayed because of snow, so we're really only on our second one. We also are underway with the Plymouth Plan of Conservation and Development. Dimitri is working on housing needs analysis. Emily is always hard at work on referrals. I will say, I did referrals at NVCOG, and NVCOG has a lot more referrals than NVCOG. You all have a lot going on here, and that's great. That's fantastic. And then we'll also be starting on the Seymour POCD pretty soon as well. Hiring for positions, we are looking to hire a permanent director of the division, another senior community planner, and a senior housing planner. And the senior housing planner will be responsible for overseeing the development of the housing growth plan process. That is newly required under the special session PA 25-1 legislation. So with that, looking ahead, we are thinking about those housing growth plans. Ours is not due until 2029, so we have some time, but we definitely, don't want to be sitting on our heels. We want to be thinking strategically and using that time well. And then also out of PA 25-1, it's not just about the housing growth plans. There are a number of other pieces in that legislation that impact municipalities. So we're also thinking about and planning for how we can provide technical assistance to you all on those different elements. There are a few components of that bill in which action will be required in July. That's related to hostile architecture, petitions, requirements for petitioners for certain projects, and most notably minimum parking requirements. So again, those things are coming up in July, and we'd love to be able to help you out with those regulation changes as much as we can. So that's what we've got going on. I'm looking forward to working with all of you to the extent that you need help from us. We are always here as a point of contact if you have questions related to housing and land use issues. So happy to take any questions right now.
Yeah, are you in running for senior director?
I'm not planning on taking that, no.
We'll talk about that.
Might not be up to me.
Modesty prohibits serving.
All right, questions for Lana? All right, then let's switch right over to Emily.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Emily Ritchie. I am the community planner too at the planning division. There are no actions requested of you today. It's just an update on our referrals. So as many of you know, your municipality refers specific land use actions to NVCOG for advisory review. Through which we conduct a referral report, and then we send back to your land use administrators as correspondence of advisory and here's the mission from the board. As part of this process, we also send out 5 monthly summaries of these referrals that we receive every 2 months as correspondence to your land use administrator. And as part of this process annually, we publish an annual referral report, which you'll be able to see on the screen here. This report looks at all referrals that come through the calendar year. Today, we are happy to share with you the 2025 land use referral summary. The report highlights a number of trends relating to the tax referrals that come in, how many we received through that year, what was the most popular topic that we did referrals on, as well as a couple other trends and statistics that we gathered from them. The annual report is available through scanning the QR code on screen or through typing in the links provided below. We'll be following up with you as well as your land use admins with a copy of this referral report. Our previous annual reports for 2023 and 2024 are also available on our referral webpage into access. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
All right, questions? Thank you, Emily. And we will turn it over to Drew.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Briefly on emergency management, a reminder that the statewide emergency management symposium is April 23rd, 2026 at Camp Net. If you have not already done so, you can register for that on the CSEC website. Additionally, Chris Bernier was unable to be with us this morning from Dennis Region 5 as he's participating in a National Guard exercise this morning, but he did want me to convey 2 things. Number 1, the fiscal year 25 EMPG, Emergency Management Planning Grant applications are available in the Dennis Grants Management Portal. That program just opened up. And additionally, for Dennis Region 3, which only contains Bristol in our region, but this is relevant because they no longer have a coordinator on staff from some internal shuffling. So the other regional coordinators will be covering Region 3 for the time being, but they are looking to hire somebody to backfill that. That's all I have from emergency management, Mr. Chairman.
Questions for Drew? Okay.
Okay, and for the Economic Development District, thank you. We did have our first, actually I should say our second, after subsequent to the kickoff after that in the fall, we had a Strategic Advisory Board meeting for the SEDS, the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy, on March 3rd of this month in this room. That was a hybrid meeting, was very well attended, it was very productive. I'm very pleased with the way that worked out. The slides, the minutes, and other background material was emailed to you all last Thursday, the 12th, just for your review. I didn't want to put it in the packet because it was 30 some odd pages. We didn't feel like we wanted to print. Our staff is now actively writing the SEDS. We're working on all the required elements of that. You can see the timeline here up on the screen, but our goal will really be to prepare a traditional SEDS report that we can put out for public comment as soon as maybe the second week of April. It has to be a mandatory 30 days out for public comment. Then we will get it in front of this board for your endorsement, and then it has to go to the state for a subsequent endorsement before it goes to EDA prior to the end of the fiscal year, June 30th. So just kind of want to telegraph that for you, understanding that there will be a resolution for you, hopefully in May. And we hope to not have to be up to the last minute up in June getting that to you. But if you have any questions about that process, we'd be happy to discuss that. And one final note, while we're preparing the traditional report as a requirement, our SEDS is going to live on a hub site, a website that we're creating internally with the mapping data and technology team, which we think is number one preference of US EDA, but also is going to be more useful for all of you and your staff. If you need some data or information to give to a developer or a resident or for your own staff or grant application, all that will live in a very, interactive website hosted through the NVCOG website.
All right, anyone have a question for Drew? All right, we will proceed to Richard, mapping, data, and technology.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I bring the AI policy back to you this month. It went through legal review. So the only changes to it in the last month are just wording. And again, as a reminder, this board sets all policies for the organization. So as soon as this gets adopted, it gets incorporated into our employee manual, but also with this policy, it amends our terms and conditions with consultants and future consultants. I will take any questions at this time.
All right, any questions? Rick, do you want to say anything?
Nope, I do not. We're in good shape. We'll be revising terms and conditions for our contractors.
One last minute note, I'm sorry. The small, in the bottom right-hand corner, City of San Jose, if you do plan on working on your own municipal plan, this resource is very helpful. It's by the City of San Jose, so it's a local city, and they have templates and resources for local municipalities to develop their own AI policies. Of course, you can always reach out to them in the future.
All right, if there are no questions, can we have a motion?
So, seconded by Bruce.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? We have an opposition vote?
I think it was a delayed.
Okay, delayed approval. All right, motion passes. Richard,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Item number 2, this is an update on our current website. The web page that used to be called Data Download is now called Data Center. It aligns, as Drew just said, to the required naming convention for the SEDS report. Instead of having the SEDS information living somewhere, some demographic living on one page, this is going to house all the information on one page, a link to the hub site that Drew just talked about. Any future reports like the Plan of Conservation Development or the MPP, all the data used in those will live on this page. So it'll be your one-stop data shop for everything for the region. And this is only for information. The QR code takes you right to the new data center page. I'll take any questions at this time.
Questions? All right, thank you, Richard. Oh, there it is. Aaron.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a few updates today. There's no action on any environmental planning items here. The first update is regarding the Connecticut Deep Municipal Storm Sewer System General Permit or MS4 permit. We've been tracking the MS4 permit update process for several years. We expect Deep to publish an updated MS4 permit later this year. Staff's been working internally and with other COGs and external partners to develop a more comprehensive municipal assistance program for permit compliance in response to those updates. We hope to be able to share the details of that in the coming months. In the meantime, though, you all still do need to comply, except for Bethlehem, with the current MS4 permit, which has been administratively extended. And it seems that we're seeing, some increased enforcement that's been promised from DEEP, this year. It's our understanding that all MS4 towns are receiving desktop compliance evaluations. That's the form that you see on the right there on the screen. These are 2 to 3 page documents with a checklist that evaluates how well municipal annual reports address permit conditions. We've also heard from a few towns that have received notices of non-compliance, which are more comprehensive legal orders that require a response within 45 days. Several municipalities have reached out for assistance to us after receiving evaluations or notices, and our staff has been meeting to discuss and provide guidance. Molly and Tom on the environmental planning team are very knowledgeable about the permit requirements and can help your staff get a grasp on how best to move forward with compliance or respond to those orders. So if you received one of those notices and you have questions, you want assistance, please don't hesitate to contact me or Tom or Molly, and we can come out and talk to you and sort of plot a course for compliance on those.
Yes,
I just wanted to offer a warning. Middlebury is one of those towns that got a non-compliance, and the company that we were paying to do those reports for us apparently was just rolling over old data and not actually doing the reports. So I urge you to look at what's happening in your town because it bit us in a very difficult way.
an engineering firm?
Mhm.
Do we have a recommended engineering firm for towns that need them?
We do have a short list of engineers for the LOTSIP program. I'm not sure if we.
Didn't you just do a new list?
We are going to bring that forward at the next.
Yeah,
Next
you
board
just-
meeting.
yeah, we just
We do
approved-
include a degree of hydrology in that list, although it is not, MS4 compliance is not a specifically called out element of it.
Many engineers are reluctant to get in that field for some reason.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of tasks involved. It's not just writing a report and submitting a report. There's a lot of stuff that towns need to do to be fully compliant. I have a doubt that any town in the state is really fully compliant with the permit, but I think over the past several years, DEEP has been sort of lax with their enforcement and just, towns that submitted a report, they would, check the box and that would be that. Without, really looking into whether or not the compliance was met with the entire permit. So,
Aaron, in-house, we have the ability to help Middlebury then?
They have been, and I just wanted to
Okay.
say it's been amazing. So that's kind of what we saved us at this point was that help. So thank you.
All right,
Thank you so much. Molly's been great.
all right, thank you.
From Bristol's perspective, we actually were audited by EPA. We submitted all our paperwork in November and we're still waiting. When it bothered Bristol, we never heard from the EPA, but we did submit a big packet.
So, just to be clear, we have 2 short lists of engineering firms that you're all free to choose from if your local rules permit it. So one is primarily, as Rich said, primarily for transportation. There is some hydrology available in there. We have another list that's environmental firms. It's for the brownfields program, but we might have more success tapping those firms for this type of work. So both of those short lists are updated here like every 2 years. There's usually at least a half dozen firms on each one. So I wanted to make you aware of that. The other one was some of the notices that towns got had to do with vehicle washing, public works vehicle washing primarily. And that they were in violation of how the water runoff was handled. So Drew has been fielding some inquiries. We're looking at the possibility of a truck wash facility that could be jointly shared amongst municipalities. We're not sure it's practical, but we're looking into it. And I've asked Drew to work with Aaron just to determine whether this is a feasible approach for anyone. But if you have any interest in that, or you've been cited for vehicle wash, or you're deficient, you should probably connect with Drew just to let him know. Thank you.
Okay, anything else, Aaron?
that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Aaron. And Christine, where are you? All right.
Thank you.
Oh.
Just a very quick reminder for everybody today. It is that time of year again that we start thinking about our Sustainable CT Fellows that we'll be hosting this summer. They will be available to assist municipalities with both sustainable CT actions and sustainability projects in general. So since we have a couple of new CEOs here, I thought it would just be a good idea to very quickly talk about this program. Sustainable CT is a voluntary certification program that recognizes municipalities for best practices. You can earn points towards bronze, silver, or gold with a really wide variety of actions that probably already align with a lot of your projects and goals. Things like inventorying your brownfields, educating residents about composting, or incorporating sustainability goals into your POCD. I will say, and I'm sure everyone who has already been certified can attest to this, it is a bit of a burden to apply. It's a pretty serious program. However, we hope that the fellow this summer, and of course our staff, can take some of that burden off you and help you get over the finish line. To be clear, Sustainable CT is not a grant program, but it does have some unique funding tools attached to it, like the Community Match Fund. So please take advantage of the fellow while they're here. Again, I know it seems early to be thinking about this, but I did send an email to all the CEOs and planning departments on March 9th with a couple of pointers on how you could prepare if you are thinking of pursuing this summer. And for any CEOs who are interested in the program or have questions, I encourage you to reach out to me. We can set up a time to meet and talk about how to make this program work for you. So happy to take any questions.
All right, thank you. Questions for Christine? All right, thank you, Christine. Molly? Regional tree canopy assessment. Lunch and learn.
Yeah, I'm here today to remind you all that there is an upcoming lunch and learn about our regional tree canopy assessment on this upcoming Wednesday, March 25th from 11:30 to 1 p.m. Free lunch will be provided for anyone who attends in person, and we ask that people register for the lunch by Monday, just so I know how many lunches to order. The lunch and learn will focus on an update about the data we've received for our regional tree canopy assessment, which is funded by U.S. Forest Service. And we'll also have a section where it's more of a workshop where our municipal staff, elected officials, and like, for example, tree wardens can give us input on that data and what they feel would be most useful for them to get out of the assessment, because we are currently drafting that. So it would be a very important update for you all, and I encourage you to encourage your staff to attend. And related to that, next slide, please, Sasha. We have also an upcoming event in May called the Urban and Community Forestry Peer Learning Exchange. We are hosting this in partnership with the Nature Conservancy. And this is a really nice opportunity for municipalities to also engage with local community organizations and community members about urban forestry and community forestry. So a really nice way to have a conversation about this in our region and identify potential next steps. So I wanted to make you aware of this opportunity, but also note that we are currently looking for speakers for our lightning talks. And so if you have someone from your municipality who's a shining star in urban or community forestry, feel free to reach out. We would love to invite them to give like a 3 to 5 minute talk about what they do.
All right, thank you, Molly. Farmerland Access Project.
Yeah, another project we have going on is focused in partnership with UConn. And this is about helping to identify suitable areas for access for farmers for land in your communities. So this project, UConn assesses municipally owned lots in your towns and then can identify if they're suitable for agriculture. And then eventually connecting those lands ideally with farmers so that you can do land leases and help to increase that access. So we have 4 municipalities currently engaged in this project from the region, but I wanted to remind you all that this is an opportunity if you're not currently engaged in it. And if you're interested, feel free to reach out to me to learn more.
And I will note that, 18 out of our 19 municipalities are, eligible. And if you are, you would have received an email about it in January. But happy to reach out again if you're interested.
Okay, thank you, Molly. We will, go to Ricardo Brownsfield.
Mr. Chair, I'm gonna be brief.
Who's the only
I believe I
one?
am the last hurdle.
Probably me.
This, I'm gonna have a quick, status update and to recommend for you. And as a quick reminder, the status of all brownfield projects are included in your meeting agenda packet. However, I don't think much dates real quick on two projects that have made significant progress since the last reporting period. The first one being 226 Rover Ave, Naugatuck. An RFP for remediation of the subsurface of the site has been concluded with 7 contractors submitting bids. A committee will be reviewing the bids within the upcoming week and select the most qualified environmental firm to conduct that work. Environmental remediation is anticipated within the spring, most likely next month. The second one being 272 River Street and 835 Main Street, Waterbury. Happy to announce that all funded assessment work has been completed and reports are in hand. So we will be reaching out to WC and the city to discuss the potential next steps for that project. In response to DCD's open brownfield solicitation round, NVCOG will be assisting in submitting 2 assessment applications, the first one being for 135 South Main Street, Thomaston, and the other one for 389 Meadow Street, Waterbury. We'll keep the board updated on the status of those applications and move forward. And a friendly reminder, if you plan on submitting an application through DCD's solicitation round, it closes on March 27th. The last day to request a project folder is March 25th afternoon. Next slide. On the next slide, staff is recommending the board moves to adopt NVCOG-DECD certified resolution 2026-07. This resolution would allow NVCOG to accept the 113 and 125 Mill Street Shelton DECD funding award for the remediation of these 2 sites. Once the sites have been cleaned up, these sites will hold over 100 residential units within the downtown quarter of Shelton.
You want to say anything?
What 2 sites are these?
Well, Ricardo?
Is this the Chromium process site?
Yes. 113 and
It's
125.
Chromium process, right?
Yes, sir.
And what are you doing with that? I mean, that's already done.
We just need to accept the voting through DCD, and we need a certified resolution to do so. So we just submit the documents to DCD.
Yeah, but the remediation's already been done.
Under the RLF, there's still open remediation work at 125.
This is on the existing grant you're talking about.
Correct.
Okay, I thought it was a new grant.
No.
The state grant. So moved.
Good.
All right,
The
we have
original was
you're
federal.
good,
Yeah.
right?
This is state.
Okay.
You're good.
Yeah.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Pin Shop Pond.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So to the previous slide, NVCOG staff is recommending the board to move and adopt NVCOG-DECD certified resolution 2026-08. This resolution would allow NVCOG to accept the assessment award from DCD for the Pin Shop Pond area project within the Oakville section of Watertown. Once the assessment data has been collected, it would allow the municipality and the site owners to determine the best potential way to move forward with the project.
Just, where's Pin Shop Pond?
20 Main Street. Oakville.
So,
Just on that border of Waterbury and Oakville.
yeah, I got it. Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, we have 2 seconds. We'll pick,
Third.
I'm gonna pick, Oxford for the second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Ricardo. We are now at roundtable. Is there any town CEO who would like to bring forward a topic for discussion at this late hour?
I'll just remind everyone, next month's meeting, Commissioner Euclid will be joining us, for the meeting.
Great.
If you have particular topics you would like him to address, please let me know. We're gonna If Anderson.
Is he bringing asphalt with
We'll certainly ask.
All right, here we go,
it?
First Selectman Solano?
I don't know,
I'm good,
Good, okay.
unless you want a motion to adjourn.
Oh,
we have a motion, we have a second to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend.